Welcome, everybody. I want to welcome all my replay viewers, and thank you so much for listening and spending the time today. I really appreciate it. And I want to welcome everybody else who is on with me right now. And of course, I have my glasses on because I need to see the who pops up. Hey, Jen. So today, my name is Tricia Dycka, and today we're going to talk about the 4 important ways that an empath is affected. And I know this because it's happened to me time and time again. But the 4 ways is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So now, the physical aspect of it is actually feeling the pain in your body. And sometimes we may not even realize that it's not ours. There's 2, I can give you 2 examples. A while ago, I was just walking along and all of a sudden my knee started hurting and I was like, what the hell? I mean, seriously, I had to sit down because my knee hurt. But then I stopped for a second and I said, all right, this is not me. I don't have knee issues. And I just remember saying, all right, if this is not mine, this needs to be removed now because otherwise I'm going to fall flat on my ass in the middle of, I think it was the mall. So, and within 30 seconds, it was gone. It was just there for me to see. So I guess somebody else is having, problems with their knees. And then yesterday, I had a raging headache. It was so bad. I took 2 Advil, and I normally don't take Advil. And I just remember thinking, my headache's not going away. It's still here. And it was about 4 hours later when I finally said, wait a second, is this even mine? And I had walked around yesterday with the headache for 4 hours, and it didn't belong to me. So we, as empaths, can actually take on other people's illnesses and physical ailments. And as soon as we get them, it is really about keeping in touch with our bodies and making sure that, we ask the questions. Is this mine? Does this belong to me? And if it's not mine, yes, I see it, I acknowledge it, but universe, you need to help me to remove it. I want to welcome everybody who is coming on the call. Hey, Vanessa. So yeah, I have to keep looking. I keep forgetting to look. So everybody, this is Tricia Dycka, and we're talking about the 4 ways that you're affected as an empath. Now, the emotional aspect, and we all know the emotional aspect. We can go from high to low in probably seconds. But what I find really interesting, at least for myself, never before have I questioned the happiness, the excitement, when you get that nervous, excited, or you're super happy, or I never questioned if it was mine or not. I just was like, wow, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, and, and I'm jumping all over the place. It is when I go from, that happiness down to depression, or anxiety, or sadness, or anger, I've walked into a place and I'm tremendously angry, and I'm like, well, what the hell just happened? And, you also know that for me, I also am affected as we come into a new moon, a full moon, and I'm very in tune with other people's energies. So I can feel a lot of, I feel things on a personal level. I feel things on a collective level. I can be in a mall and it's like, holy crap, something's going on, a big wave of energy is coming. And it's the fear. And those are the ones that we stop and pay attention to. And what happens is, if we don't have something in place to tell us it's not ours, we will go with the mind games. The little mind monkey, that little bastard, will just start creating these stories that plummet you even further. And when my gifts started growing, probably, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I didn't recognize it for what it was. And the monkey mind chatter actually brought me to levels of, you love my website, thank you, brought me to new levels of hell. And thank God, my husband was here, because he supported me through that. Literally, I would go from being outside happy, walking in the house, crying, sobbing like the end of the world is coming. And he would just be like, what's the matter? And all I could say was, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it, and I don't know. So when people say, I don't know, recognize that as a sign that if you don't know what's going on, hi, Sharon, how are you? If you don't know what's going on, I would say 90% of that is probably not yours. So with that being said, I have a symbol that I put in place. And I have a couple of symbols. And I mean, if you guys want to just get started, put a symbol in place. I use a bear. You can use a color. You can use an instrument. You can use a word. You can use whatever you want. And the universe is very inventive in showing you that that symbol. And I mean, I think it was yesterday too. Not only did I have, mine is a lion sometimes. Yeah, mine's a bear. And I do have others for different things. Mine's like even yesterday, I was, not only did I have the headache, but I also noticed that I was getting a little bit anxious. And all of a sudden, like the word bear popped out. I think somebody said it, and I went, okay. So you have to trust in the universe, that the universe is going to give you what you need, and the universe is going to help you with this. When I first did it, hey, Jules, when I first did it, put my symbol in place, I actually questioned it over and over again. Is this true? Is this true? And it was interesting. So now we have the physical aspect of actually feeling other people's pain. We have the emotional aspect of feeling other people's emotions, one scale of the spectrum way to the other. And what's even more interesting is tired. Being tired doesn't necessarily mean it's yours. And thank you, Sharon, because she brought it to my attention. We were chatting through Facebook, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm tired. And she's like, is it yours? And I'm like, and I never thought to even question being tired as being mine or being somebody else. Yes, Sharon, it is so easy to forget. And I'm noticing that not only, like when I'm tired, doesn't necessarily mean mine. So now I'm getting into the habit of asking, is this mine? And again, yesterday was a treat because I forget myself. I need a reminder because, yeah, it's so easy to own it because when you're tired, you just never suspect that it could be anybody else's. So what I do is like keep little notes around, to stop, to listen, to ask these questions. And something else I do that I absolutely love, and I'm going to share with you, is I always walk around with little, rocks. And this one says peace. And I put it in my pocket. They're flat little rocks. They're a little small, maybe the size of a quarter. And when I become overwhelmed or I have issues that day, kind of rub my that little stone and say, I'm looking for peace today. And what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing is not bringing me peace. So we need to refocus where our thoughts are by allowing to brain fog when everyone else's shit is coming through. Yes, brain fog. That we get into in a second because that's the mental aspect of being an empath. Me too. Yes. So whenever I have like an issue, I will hold on to my rock and ask if I'm allowing peace to happen, or if I'm allowing my monkey mind chatter because I'm being overwhelmed physically or mentally or emotionally with other people's stuff. And this is not, let me do it today and it's a fix. This is an everyday thing that is self-care for empaths. We need to continuously do this every single day, or we will be overrun and we will get depressed and sad and feel like the world is ending to us. And there were a couple times, in my life where I was like, yo, this is not worth it. This is like, I've had enough, literally, physically, mentally, emotionally. I just had enough. And I'm like, I say to the universe, I'm done. I'm just so done. I can't even, figure this out anymore. And that's okay, because what happens is then you start asking for the help to clear it, to get past it. And that help starts showing up. And I've had it. Yes, Jules, I totally get it. I've had enough too. And I get where you're at and I understand it. And It's, about seriously doing this every day. And then it becomes habits and routines. And this actually allows you to become happier within yourself, because now you know what's yours, what's not yours. And it doesn't suck the life out of you. Hey, Kim. So, everybody, this is Tricia Dycka, and we're talking about the 4 ways that you can be affected as an empath. And we've talked about the emotional aspect. We've talked about the physical aspect. And good morning. I'm about to talk about the mental aspect. And I would not have even recognized the mental aspect if it wasn't for my husband. God bless him. He's like my biggest supporter through all of this. But I think we were at them all. Large places, lots of people. So, expect stuff to happen and just be gentle with yourself when it does. And I was there for a reason. Don't remember why. And I was literally like turning around in circles. I would go from one store to the other, back and forth, not getting anything accomplished. And finally he grabbed my hand and he said to me, he's like, "What are you looking for? What did you need?" I don't even remember what store we were going into. And I'm like, you know what? I can't remember. Thank you, Kim, for sharing and inviting. I couldn't remember what I wanted. I was literally in a fog. Like, I couldn't make a decision. I couldn't figure out what I wanted. Nothing appealed to me. It was like just in this big bubble of duh. And he's like, all right. So he actually grabbed, thank you, Sharon, for sharing too. He actually grabbed my hand and he's like, all right, let's figure out now where we need to go and what we need to accomplish here, because otherwise you're just going to literally be back and forth and back and forth. And I finally said, you know what? I need to go because I can't figure this out. Like totally in la la land. And I'm like, all right, there's something wrong here. So what I ended up doing that day is I made an effort of going and spending time outside. I connected to the grass, the energy from the earth. I grounded myself and I started to feel better. Like I started to get that clearing. And it actually was something now that I pay attention to. And these are the times I absolutely, absolutely do not make a decision. If all else fails, will go lie down and say, screw this. I'm going to just veg out, lie in the bed, take a nap, and just, hey, Emily, and just chill, because otherwise I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle, and I'm fighting myself to make a decision that I know either in a couple of hours or tomorrow. Stopping by, good morning. And I know in a couple of hours either I'm going to be like, what the hell was I thinking? Or, I'm going to change my mind about it. And that's okay. So it's just a big fog. It's just, don't make a decision. Even making decisions for dinner or for food, I don't know. And my husband's like, what do you mean you don't know? You don't know what you want to eat. So, these 4 different aspects, which the last one is spiritual, is the emotional. Hi, everybody knew who joined. This is Tricia Dycka. We're talking about the 4 aspects of the 4 different ways of being an empath that affect you. And it's emotions, that's feeling everybody else's stuff, everybody's emotions. It is mental, which is being literally in a fog. It is emotional, physical, feeling other people's issues, and that can be being tired, headaches, things along those lines. What's interesting is I'm watching this, all I see are the hearts going up. Thank you so much, everybody, for the hearts and for the love. In my glasses, I'm seeing the reflection. It's actually interesting. So anyway, the last step is spiritual. And to me, spiritual really means how I am as a person, what it means to me, who I am, who I'm becoming. I know a lot of people put a lot of labels on being spiritual or not being spiritual, but it's just really who I am as a person. And what I can tell you is the happier that I am, the less all this other stuff affects me. It actually just flows through me. So in the morning, I do a little grounding ritual, and I think I'm gonna do that one day on Periscope. I'm gonna share what I do to ground and how I put my symbols in place. And one of the things I say is I actually say my heart is open and I feel a gentle breeze pushing everything through. So nothing gets stuck and wants to, I am so struggling with the spiritual part. Yes, please do. Yeah, I will. I'll do like a meditation maybe either later or tomorrow where, it'll be what I do every morning. And this way you guys can do it as well. And, Jules, about struggling with the spiritual aspect, it's really about starting to know who you are. It's about the willingness to say no. It's the willingness to put yourself first. It's the willingness to take care of yourself. Because as an empath, if we don't take care of ourselves, we end up sick. We end up just have nothing to give anybody else. We end up with so many issues that we're constantly going to the doctors or we're looking for answers. And until we actually stop and slow down, it just progressively gets worse. It's about listening into our intuition. Like being spiritual. If you don't know what you like or what makes you tick, and it's very simple, and I remember being told to do this years ago, and I was like, these people are crazy. But honestly, take a notebook and kind of just a little journal and just start walking around and saying, I like this. I don't like this. I like this. This I want to learn more of. Like for me, I love woo-woo. I love energy. I love learning how to grow my gifts, being an even bigger and better empath, feeling people's stuff, helping them get through stuff, whether they know it or not. By the way, your energy is shining. Thank you. I know that fog too well. Yeah. That fog just kind of screws us up royally too. And the more we learn to know ourselves and love ourselves, the less these things affect us. We still feel them. They are still there. But they don't get us down so quickly. They don't hurt us. We don't get stuck in that monkey mind chatter of all the stories we're creating, because now we need to make excuses as to why we're in a brain fog, or why we're sad, or why we're depressed, or why we're angry all of a sudden, and start beating the crap out of ourselves. Because believe me, I've been to hell and back, and every now and again I get stuck there, and I'm able to get out of it quicker, and I'm able to be okay with it. And it's not always easy, no, but it's, again, creating these rituals and putting these things in place for yourself. If you don't have the rocks, like I was showing the little peace rock earlier, put a piece of paper in your pocket and say, my emotion for today, I want to have fun, or I want to be hopeful, or have faith that everything's going to work out, or I want to be creative today, and just put a little post-it note in your pocket. And when you're starting to feel overwhelmed, you're starting to feel, going down that monkey mind chatter, that little bastard that's, getting you stuck in the shit, grab that note and hold on to it and say, okay, what can I do to change this around? Universe, help me. Help me. This does not belong to me. I need help to release this, because I'm not meant to be an empath and have my life suck. The other thing about being spiritual is creating an environment for yourself that's very positive, it's uplifting, it's empowering. It's about being around people, whether it's Facebook, real life, who really want to help you and see you grow. If you don't have, amen to that, yes. Because if you don't have this around you, it's like, not only are you dealing with the shit in your own head, now you're dealing with everybody else's shit. So one of the things when I started growing and shifting again, I started asking the universe to bring me these awesome people to me and help me to create these friendships, these partnerships, bring these amazing people to me who will help me. And in so many different ways they have, whether it was, I'm getting to know them, I'm reading a book about something, I'm willing to go out put myself out there, meet new people, and at the same time, I'm also listening to my intuition and saying, all right, this is awesome, or I need to take a step back from this. And we all have family, yep, and we all have family drama. And as much as I love my family, sometimes I can't get stuck into the drama because it screws me up. And I just don't want to do that to myself. And I love everybody, but I need to put myself first right now, especially because I'm having some health issues and I'm working through them. And I need to make sure that I'm taken care of. And some people will say that's selfish, but in the reality, it's really not. Because the more selfful I am, the more I put myself first, the more I actually have to give everybody else, the more patience, the more love, the more caring that I can share and do for others than doing something that I don't want to do. And being spiritual as well, I throw boundaries into that because boundaries are very important for an empath. People call it filters, boundaries, I don't know, whatever you want to call, but it's your willingness to say yes and your willingness to say no and stick behind both. Yes, I'm in it and I'm in it. Hell yes, I'm in it and I'm going to be there. Or hell no, and I'm not going to be there. And I'm not going to torture myself and make myself feel guilty about saying no. I just... You know, like when I first started saying yes and no, like I would say yes for the wrong reasons and I'd be mad I say yes because now it's taking time away for the things that I wanted to do. Or I'm saying no and I'm like, oh my God, I should have said no because now they're going to be mad at me or they're not going to like me or whatever bullshit excuse I throw at myself. But each one of these I'm going to go into further on different scopes, as well as I am actually, I am launching something called the Empath Playground, and I am super excited about that. And it's really about bringing the fun back into our lives and about being who we are, being who we're meant to be, and being an empath and loving it and using it in ways that will help us instead of hurt us. And I've been in some really amazing empath groups, and I've been in some really downtrodden negative groups that I get into and suck the life out of. So, you know, when you do that, make sure you listen to your body and the energy that you're receiving. Because if it's negative, you need to move on. You really do. You need to look for positive, uplifting places for you to be and for you to share yourself. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. If you have any feedback, please, send me a Twitter message because it's Tricia Dycka, Dycka, or an email at Tricia@triciadycka.com, or come to my website, it's triciadycka.com, and I'm going to be, can't wait for it. The fun feeling sounds exciting. It does. It really does, because I was there where I wasn't fun. This wasn't fun. It sucked the life out of me. I hated my life, and I hated who I had become, because I loved being around people, and how the hell are you going to be an empath? And I've always been an empath my whole life, but my gifts grew so quickly. How the hell am I going to be an empath and be around people? I can totally relate and love the woo-woo too, yes. How can I be an empath and be around people? I love people, but I hate who I am, who I've become. And I hated that it was getting stuck in my body. I had constant stomach aches. I had constant... Thank you for sharing and being so transparent. Thank you. It would be like I wouldn't even sleep. It was like I burned. She is glowing. Oh, wow. Thank you, Kim. I couldn't sleep. I just literally sucked the life out of everything. And anytime I went outside, it sucked the life out of me even more. And this unpredictability and this going from 0 to 10 in any emotion was very hard on me. It was so I can relate to all of this. I've given some great ideas in here, and I really want you guys to put them in place and see how they work for you. And I'm absolutely going to share the meditation that I do every morning. I will do that in a day or two. But meet up with me. Share it. Thank you, everybody, for the hearts. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope that you got a lot of great info. And thank you for being here and sharing your time with me. And if you have any questions about any of this, please reach out to me. Twitter, Facebook, my website, my email. And it's Tricia, and that's Dycka, Dycka. Thank you, everybody, and have an awesome day.